So here's the idea. Let's take writing, academic writing. Academic writing, I'm just going to give you an example. We can break it into maybe 5 steps. First step is the students generate ideas or they find information. The second step is they take that information, those ideas, and they organize them into an outline. Then after that, they do the drafting stage where they write out the first draft of their essay. Then after they've done that, they edit it. They edit it to make sure that the essay meets the criteria of the assignment, that they're answering the question, and they edit it for meaning, making sure that all the ideas in paragraph 1 are related. All the ideas in paragraph 2 are related. There's no ambiguity. Everything flows smoothly, logically. And then finally, they edit it for language, where they look at punctuation, spelling, grammar, and mechanics. Now the teacher could start by showing the students some techniques for generating ideas, and then asking them to do that. And what will happen is, after a few lessons, the slow students will still be on this stage, while the faster students will be maybe on stage 3 or stage 4. And physically in the classroom, it depends on how your class is arranged. I don't know how they are arranged. I'm sure the chairs are in rows, but I don't know if they're bolted to the floor. We could have desks in different stations, okay? And the concept is that the slow students, well, when a student finishes one station, they move to the others. So the students are going to be going at different paces, okay? Now this is the micro picture. Let's look at the macro picture. At a higher level, we can look at it as in terms of assignments. So the teacher will teach, for example, a grammar point, and then in lesson 2, the teacher will teach how to write a chronological paragraph. Lesson 3, how to write a compare and contrast paragraph. Lesson 4, how to focus on another grammar point, and Lesson 5 on mechanics. So the idea is that students will go to whichever station that they are ready for. So the slow students might still be working on these 2 stations, while the faster students might have already come up to these 2 stations. Okay? Now, I used to teach at Mahidol University, and during the summers, I would teach a class for doctors, nurses, and medical researchers. And this was an interesting group. All of these people wanted to write research articles, but most of them were quite busy. And in the class, about half of them were graduate students, the other class were PhDs trying to write research articles. And the problem I had was that although they all wanted to learn, they were paying out of their own pocket to come to this, many of them didn't have time to do the assignments. And so it was holding the class back. So what I did was, those students who did invest the time to do the assignments at home would work at these stations, and those students that only didn't have time to work at home, they only had class time, they worked at these 2 stations. And the nice thing was that I could spend 15-20 minutes at these 2 stations, get them on task, and then go help these guys for 15 or 20 minutes. So everyone was able to progress at their own speed. Now this was a situation where level wasn't really a problem. The problem was some people just didn't have time outside of class to do the writing assignments. It was an academic writing course. And it worked out fairly well because everyone in the classroom, during class time, everyone was able to focus on what their next assignment was, on their level. It wasn't people being pushed too quickly or going too slow for others.
I know we'll get to class again.
Right.
But this is a great idea in theory. I really like it, but when you've got high school students,
Right.
how are you going to apply this and still manage? Like they'll get out of. I mean, I know my students. Like they'll get off task so quickly, and I mean, how?
Okay. I'll present another solution for that. Okay. Because what we could do is give them different tasks according to their level. Because what you're saying is this requires them to work individually or as a group. And you're afraid that once the teacher's not watching them, at the table, then they're going to do something else. Right, okay. So I'll show you that in a minute.
I also class to that primary. I mean, we talk about high school, but I also teach primary. I want
Right.
to class to the students like level 3 or level 4.
Right.
4, grade 5, or let's say 6.
So you're saying that at primary, they're not going to focus unless the teacher is watching them as
No,
well?
I want to say that they at all didn't do homework. Like all class didn't do homework.
Nobody's doing the homework?
Nobody.
Okay. Right. So in that sense, everyone's pretty much moving at the same pace because they're not doing the homework.
No, I just want to say that you teach PhD people who want to learn.
Right.
They pay their own pocket money.
Right.
And we're talking about children who maybe don't want to learn, but parents want them to be
Sure.
IT.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so the thing is that the concept is the same. The teacher is going to monitor this group or these 2 groups for some time, and then they're going to monitor the other 2 groups. Okay? If the students don't want to learn, they're not going to act any differently than they would if it's a teacher-fronted classroom. If they don't want to learn, they're not going to learn. It's just that simple. It doesn't really matter if they're working in groups or if it's a whole class situation.
I have little to no problems getting them to work in groups.
Okay,
But my main concern is about having to work in groups means it's logistically quite taxing on the time. Imagine if you have only 1 hour and then you have to move the table all the time every time you go into the class. So
Okay.
is there a solution to this?
okay. Good question. Can you come up here for a second and draw a picture of what your classroom looks like? Because,
A classroom of 35 or 40?
yeah, because this is a problem that everyone's going to have. So it does, it's worthwhile investment to spend some time with it.